Hello, welcome back to Inside Out with Chris. It is your host, Chris, obviously. So I want to jump in today as a bit of a short and spicy solo episode. Most of my solo eps will be short, they will be spicy, and they will have value. But I like it that way because that just means that it doesn't take long to drop in, download the value of this content that's being created. It doesn't allow time to be an issue when you're listening to a podcast. I know for me, as busy as I am, I'm getting kind of irritated listening to 1 hour long podcasts because I have to pause and then go back and it's annoying. So this is how we're doing the solo episodes, I think, moving forward. But I really wanted to talk today into something that's been coming up a lot for me. And upon reflection, and also being aware of my own projections, I want to speak about my why. Now, my why I started this podcast all those years ago was to motivate, inspire, and show women that they can have the things that they want. And I wanted to do that because I spent, I suppose, the better part of the first decade of my adulthood dancing with all the different wellness modalities that life had to fucking offer. And nothing changed. And I kept going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And I've also, along that path, learned so much that I wanted to share with you because I'm like, how is this not available to everyone? It could have been as simple as a conversation with a girlfriend and talking to her, I don't know, about like a smoothie recipe or something, and like putting collagen in and why collagen's really important as we, to become women in our adulthood experience. And she'd be like, I don't know, I've never heard of collagen. Just like little things like that would come up. And I'm like, oh, like people don't actually know about little bits and pieces of the health and wellness space. Coming back to things like journaling and breath work as well. Like these things have been paramount in my habits in supporting my long-term goals, right? And now I think as I'm talking about this, all of you are very much aware of it because the health space has skyrocketed over the last, couple of years. But coming back to my point, which is sharing with you my why, to motivate, inspire, and share. And my why is also for the one. Now, something that I'm seeing a lot of, and I want to pre-frame this, something I'm seeing a lot of online is people sharing their figures, their 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure fucking incomes. They're sharing their downloads. They're sharing like, $1 million downloads for their podcast, this and this. And why I've never shared these things is because, first of all, it's none of your fucking business. And second of all, I believe that I'm talking to my one. Every time I record a podcast, every single time I put out a piece of content, I'm looking for the one person that needs to receive it. I'm not looking at changing the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. I'm looking at changing the life of one person. And if that lands, if that's the person that it drops in for, then that's enough for me. My why is not about numbers. And I can tell you that my numbers are fantastic. And I can tell you that my podcast skyrocketed for a couple of years and it felt good. It felt like validation, right? For the work that I put in for the podcast. But did I feel the need to share that on social media? Absolutely not. Now, this is not an attack at anyone who does this because I love so many people that do this. I love the content they produce and I love the coaches in the space. And I think they're all doing epic freaking things and I celebrate these women. So this isn't coming from a projection. This isn't the ego talking. This is me saying why I choose not to. This is me saying why I celebrate my wins privately whilst also I celebrate the people that come to me because I know that I'm getting my message to the people that need to receive it. Like my why is for the one person. My why is for the woman that is broken and wants support to feel like herself again. My why is for the women who might be thinking about a business that they want to succeed in and being so fucking filled with self-doubt and fear that they can't actually break free of those limiting beliefs and step powerfully forward into that business. I had a client this week who has bought a business, and she will probably listen to this podcast, so I hope you don't mind me sharing this story, babe. But she bought into a business and it has succeeded. And I don't think she realizes how successful it actually is and what she's created in under 12 months. And it's been insane, right? And this week she has dropped into the awareness of, I don't think I want this. I actually don't think I want to be an entrepreneur, a business owner. I don't think I thought that I wanted this, right? Because everyone told me that if you have this, then you're successful. But what does success actually mean? Is success what you make it? Or is success what someone else fucking makes it? You get to decide that, no one else, right? So I think it's really interesting how we can look at figures and be like, oh, they must be successful, so I'm going to work with them because they're successful. And noticing in ourselves how that comparisonitis creeps in, and then what does that actually mean to you? Does that mean that you need to be validated by sharing your numbers when you jump online if you're in the coaching space or you're someone that's owning a business? Do you feel like you need to share that your business is succeeding in the financial perspective of things than to know that your business is successful? Or do you simply need to know that you feel congruence, you feel clarity, you feel pleasure in the thing that you get to show up and do for it to be successful? Because I think that in the space that we're currently in, again, I want to frame it, no one come at me, I love the women that are sharing these things. I genuinely have a best friend and like close people to my heart that are sharing these things. I love them. This isn't a projection on sharing numbers. This is to say, like, if you're feeling comparisonitis creeping in your business because you're not making the money that you're seeing, like when you scroll the reels, it's like 5-figure, 6-figure, fucking 7-figure. Like, okay, great, we get it, you're successful. And yes, that's attractive to some people if they're looking for a business coach to work with. Of course, that's why these women are doing so great. And I love that. But what I'm talking to is the people that are feeling and seeing these numbers and then feeling disconnected with themselves and then feeling disconnected in their success. And I want to speak to, that doesn't mean anything, right? You can decide that it means something or you can decide that it doesn't mean something. And why I wanted to share that, I suppose, is because my why, once again, is for people, for women, for one person, for 5 people, whatever, whoever this lands with, that's the person that I care about. That's the value I want to create. That's what means that I feel successful when I know that someone's received something I've said and it's meant something to them, or they've downloaded that information and been like, fuck, that really lands, Chris. Like, I appreciate you saying that. I feel so much better about that. And I just wanted to share this with you because it's been playing on my mind a lot, and I did resist it for a minute. I sat in it and I resisted. I went, oh no, what? I don't want to offend anyone, but fuck that. I don't care. Like, I do care obviously about the people I love, but it's like this, I'm not saying this to offend anyone. And if it did, then that's your projection, not mine. But I do want you to receive this as, okay, what is success to me? Here's the value. Here's the reflection point. What does success actually mean to you? Is it having the energy to get up every day? Is it being able to sleep 8 hours at night? Is it having 3 days a week at home with your children and being present? Like, what the fuck does success actually mean to you? If it's running a 6, 7, 8-figure business, great, that's perfect, celebrating you. But if it's running a 5, 4, 3-figure business, like, is that success to you? That's okay too. Give yourself permission to flip the script and change the narrative on what success actually looks like, and come back to your core, which is your why. Why do you want it? Because I know why I want it, and it's so one person receives it. Each and everything that I do is for the one. It's not for the hundreds of thousands. I'm not here for that. I'm here for the one person that needs it. So on that note, I'm going to love you and I'm going to leave you. And I hope that this episode lands for you. Please let me know if it does.